Hiya. This is BCC Plays BCC. We've taken BCC to the next level, and we've made it competitive, which is an aspect that has been missing from BCC. So, I kind of explain it before we get started. It was a Twitch channel I ran for a bit, and I'm planning on running again, where users submit decks to via chatbot through Twitch, and they appear in a tournament and they fight each other, and it's a grand old time. So, yeah. I'm gonna start the script now, and we're gonna go. So I've done a selection of different decks to hopefully show off a bunch of different archetypes. We got a Shadowman versus Aquaman. Aquaman decks are known for being very slow and control-y, mainly because they run freeze bombs. And I guess the basic mechanics of the game is you pick chips. You have 12 chips per deck. One of them is an Navi chip, then there's 9 in the main deck, and then there's 2 in the slot-ins. Slot-ins can happen at any time that the operator chooses, but every time battle starts or a turn, it goes through and chooses like a path through the 9 chips. And each of these chips have very different information attached to them, like their power, their priority, their effects. So Aquaman's deck uses Freeze Bomb, which has high HP and also does Add All, which means it attacks the entire deck, so it can delete chips. For the longest time, people wanted me to nerf Freeze Bomb, because it just was too strong. But as you can see here, it kind of gets wrecked by elect decks. And the guard box in the corner below the HP count is called the box. Defensive chips go there, and different chips can affect the box. Some pierce it, some take the box and throw it like Poltergeist. This is Shining Faces Fire Navi versus Heatman. On grass stage, that'll be fun.
This isn't fair.
Exactly.
Meteors on a grass stage.
Oh, oh, rip Big Red Wave. So meteors hits a random amount of time. I think it can hit 1 to 6 times. So it does a lot of damage if you get really lucky. Otherwise, it doesn't do any damage at all. And you see there, he slot in. In the generator, you can choose an operator, and the operator changes how the AI slots in. Like Shining has Dex, and Dex slots in at 30%, while like Land slots in I think at 70, and some of the other slot in around 80.
Land slots in at 60. I think Shot slots in at 70, around there. Okay.
Yeah, the one that's most commonly run is Base, who slots in at 50%. It looks like Shining may have a win here. Oh my god, he got max hit on meteors. So, yeah. There are 16 Navis per tournament. Ooh, a base deck. Alright, base decks are really, for the first decks to really come around in the quote-unquote meta of this game. Typically the base decks would run a defensive chip and then a bunch of swords. Yeah, these are real decks submitted from people. So SPAM's running Sparker, which is the elect chip. And it does damage to their entire deck, and then it guards you. But what's interesting about a lot of these decks is they run Poltergeist as their second chip. So it does add all damage with the Sparker, and then they throw it at the enemy for an extra 150. So base has a lot of HP, which makes him kind of tough beat. And most bases are running Muramasa in their slot-ins, so if things go sour, they just slot in Muramasa for like 600 damage. And one important thing to note about this game is chip priorities. Certain chips will always go over other chips. Like null chips are always beat by elemental chips, so fire, water, grass chips will go first. But like if you have an elect chip, it'll go for a grass chip. No. If you have a grass chip, it'll go before an elect chip. If you have an elect chip, it'll go before an aqua. And fire will go after aqua. So it depends on their weakness. So this is a very defensive deck. Both of them.
I mean, it could be worse. It could have been like in the early days, base with like Life Aura up until like 10 rounds.
Yeah. Those were the original decks. Like, everyone was running base with defensive chips. And for a while, slot-ins were bugged, so the only chip that worked was Recap 300. So matches would often last 10 turns. And when a match gets to 10 turns, it ends, and whoever has deleted the most chips wins, unless they've both deleted the same amount, in which case it goes based off HP. And Ring has a high dodge chance, especially on this ice field, and Ring's Buster attack is elect damage, so it's doing double damage on the ice panels. So Ring is very hard to hit right now, and Wind is also like making... Wind has like a byproduct where it increases your dodge chance. Well, it decreases their chance to hit.
At least with that, she's slowly deleting all his chips because he keeps missing. So there's that.
Yeah, this Ring deck is very, like, I would say tempo heavy. Ooh, bad draws though.
They keep getting the bad draws.
Ooh, the slot-in. The Sparker slot-in. Rip Poltergeist. Oh, not like... Oh yeah, the Poltergeist would have killed it. So, for the longest time, this was kind of like the joke game to speedrun. So you build the deck, press B, and then be random. Oh, the Muramasa. It blocked the Muramasa. Rip. Looks like Ring might have this. Oh, no.
Rip Shadow.
No.
There goes the chance of winning.
Oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, we need a good dodge here. Or that could just hit. Okay. Wow. That was quite the match. Oh man. So it's Takul, the Like-Man deck versus my Heat Guts deck. My deck is kind of like a combo deck, and from what I remember, Takul's is more of a Sparker Poltergeist deck. No, I'm wrong. Never mind.
A Meteor's deck on grass. Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah. My deck runs Fast Gauge and Meteors. So the idea is I hit you with Meteors, then Fast Gauge to get my slot-ins, which are also Meteors, which you can't destroy. Oh, and I got the slot in. Rip.
Marco's a dirty cheater.
I am a dirty cheater, let's be honest. You can't submit decks right now, the player's already in. I plan on running the channel here soon again once I figure out how to host it more stably. So then you would be able to submit your own decks and battle with your friends. So Big Red Wave was a really interesting chip for a long time. After the first wave of base decks came out, we didn't really discover that elemental chips went first. The first big elemental decks were spice decks, where you'd run Grass Stage and Spice to pierce through the box and do tons of damage to base, and delete all his chips. So the counter to the Grass decks were to run Big Red Wave, which would instantly delete all of their chips and do tons of damage. The problem with Big Red Wave is it only has 10 HP, so if you're outsped by like a freeze bomb, you just lose. So that's like a lot of the metagame of this is you just lose to one kind of deck and you go even with a bunch of others. But yeah, for the longest time people wanted me to nerf freeze bomb. Until I sent chaotic little insider information.
Yeah, that was the whole reason I decided to make a meme sword.
Oh yeah, we'll see meme sword here soon.
You'll see it later, which I'm hoping I don't get the worst panels in my match. One whole panel, and I'm not doing any damage throughout the entire match.
Big Red Wave's priority is 6, which is the lowest out of all of the elemental ones. It'll still go before null chips, which is why it's good at deleting like invis and stuff. But it's bad against basically any non-wood elemental. So 2 meteor decks versus each other.
My money's on fire, Navi.
Oh wow. I forgot Big Red Wave can't be used on whole panels. Rip. So, I named my deck Meteors because it's meteors and memes. Kilios' deck. Kilios was the first one to run Big Red Wave. It opened our eyes to the elemental possibilities. There's a few decks we haven't seen yet, like the wood decks that are still around. Oh, LDR has one right now. Too bad he's gonna lose to Kilios. Yep. So the idea behind LDR's deck is you have Gaia's Sword, which adds up all the damage after it. Oh, he's got Mindbender. So you just one-shot most Navis. But what Mindbender does is it makes, if it hits, it makes the enemy draw that exact same chips. So he's going to draw no chips every single time. So LDR just loses.
Which I was a test subject for not too long ago.
Yeah. How's the accuracy, Big Redwood? I think it's A accuracy, if I remember correctly, which is S is the highest, but A is obviously the second. So here's another base deck. This one is running Pop-Up. Too bad Method's running Big Red Wave and counters Pop-Up pretty hard. Burner, interesting. Burner does add all. So, rip basis chips.
Man, I was kind of hoping I would fight method.
So this is making fire decks look really strong, but we have yet to see a freeze bomb versus big rave wave matchup, where it goes 10 turns of just freeze bombing the fire Navi to death. Really entertaining. Method with the meteor slot in. It's too late, the pop-up has been used.
There goes a waste of a slot in right there.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing about slot-ins, is they will do it when they hit the threshold. Unless it's like a recode chip. So if the enemy uses like pop-up or invis, you're just kinda out of luck.
And there isn't a way for you to like wait for the right time, then use it. It just, the AI immediately uses it and it wastes it, no matter what kind of circumstances you're in.
Yeah. Ooh, Method's drawing bad here. It was looking like he was gonna win. Repair? Interesting. I guess since he's running swords. Oh, nice dodge. So, Varsword does a random amount of damage. It's got like a lower and an upper, and it just randomly selects an amount of damage between them.
Rip method, he will be missed.
Aw, poor Method. Oh, he's gonna live with 10. And have no chips. Oh, okay, well, rip.
And he got the worst draw.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for him now.
Oh, chaotic stack. Alright. So, Freeze Bomb was complained about for a long time, maybe like a week or two. And
I'd say
people,
maybe 2 weeks.
yeah, it was in every deck, and people were just getting so sick of it. And finally, Chaotic comes to me, and I send him a list of the chips, and I tell him to look at the swords. Like 5 minutes later, he sends back this deck, and it works. It works beautifully. So Fighter Sword has 150 HP, so it survives 2 freeze bombs. It takes 3 freeze bombs to kill all of his swords. And by then, he's already hit you 3 times with swords. Or twice. And swords do 150 damage, and they do it to a random chip in the folder as well. So you can delete a freeze bomb. Well, almost. You need 2 swords to delete a freeze bomb, but yeah.
Shout outs to Quickman for dodging everything.
Yeah. So his deck is literally just meme swords. And it works pretty beautifully. Yeah.
It was so good, I made it in my cart.
BCC meta is surprisingly like complex and balanced. Because everything is kind of OP, but not too OP. And there's always a counter to something, we just have to look for it. Mindbender, I don't know. I think I have swords.
Oh no, what chip would I choose?
Yeah, this game has opened my eyes to the possibility of what you can do with BCC. Remember the Aura meta? I do. Oh man. Ooh, Quickman with the slot in. Recov 300. Alright, we got 3 more turns of this, basically. It's really unfortunate none of these swords are hitting the Mindbender. Like a 1/3 chance, and he's just not getting it. But it looks like Chaotic's gonna win here. Dex is one of the least run ones because 30% just generally is considered not good enough. It's such a low chance, it's like gambling. Base is the one most people run because 50% is usually the second turn, second chip. That's usually when they'll slot in. Ooh.
Let's go with Shaw just to be safe.
Hub style has 200 HP, but it has, I think, the highest megabyte count and has the possible highest damage buster versus Doyson's Skullman.
Oh, yeah, using the buster then.
So Upstyle is a really risky thing to run because it just dies so quickly. Oh, the anti-damage there is going to be his downfall. Oh no, his Poltergeist went first. Oh, I see. I missed that. Dude, rip Joyson. Yep. Guy's Sword is the other big combo deck other than Meteors. Alright, we got I think Kilios on his Heat Navi. And Ventus on base GS.
I'm kind of hoping Kilios wins because I want to get my salty run back for that Mind Bender crap he did to me.
Oh, don't worry. So yeah, as you see here, Big Red Wave just destroys base decks. Because it gets rid of their defensive chips and a lot of their swords. And the Mindbender landed, so... Ooh, the Bar Sword missed. It's looking like Kilios has the advantage here. His Big Red Wave is gone, but he drew well second turn. So there's a lot of things I wanted to explore in this, but never got the time to. One of my favorite decks that I ran for a while was Prism Beastman. The way the Prism chip works is it goes in your box, and it kind of protects you from damage. And then the amount of damage you've dealt that turn, at the end of your turn, if the Prism is still alive, it does that much damage to the enemy. So with Beastman, his Buster hits 3 times for like 30 damage. But if you use Navi plus 40 twice, you're hitting for a ton of damage. So, it looks like base here is gonna get deleted. Yep. Alright, can meme swords beat meme swords? I guess we're gonna find out. I believe the hub style deck is running in its slot-ins undershirt, which is a box chip that basically means you can't die that turn. Unfortunate that you didn't get the anti-damage delete there, but I think you'll delete it here. Yeah, hub style gives you the highest damage buster. It's an unfortunate time to slot in undershirt. And the highest megabyte in the game. At the trade-off of low HP. Alright. Helios versus Chaotic, the salty run deck. I forget how much Big Red Wave does when you're a Fire Navi. I think your swords might get deleted by Big Red Wave.
Rip.
Yeah, rip all your swords, dude.
It was a nice meme while it lasted.
And he's gonna Mindbender you? Oh man. This will be a quick one.
So this is what it feels like to be method.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah. This Hydra Sword deck just did fantastic during against like a Gaia Sword, but it goes up against the Heat deck and it just loses. So it's showing that the metagame complexity, I guess, of BCC that just wasn't explored before, I feel like. I think it's pretty interesting. I always wrote off this game as just that meme, but yeah. So, finals, it's me versus Kilios. 2 Heat
Alright, so
decks.
I'm salty right now.
You're right. Rigged. I actually don't know who's gonna win here. I feel
It's
like
obviously the Fire Navi.
my Meteors goes over his Big Red Wave though. But I think Fast Gauge is enough HP to where if I slot in, I could win this. Dodge the Fighter Sword. Will I get the slot in? Oh, it's 100%. Oh. Destroyed.
Thank you for avenging me.
The tables turn. I won
Yeah,
in
at least
one.
I got the bronze medal. It's fine. I think.
That's BCC plays BCC. I win, of course, because I'm a cheater. We all know this. Meme years comes out on top again. So
The
yeah,
2 top players in finals definitely rigged.
rigged. Congrats on winning us. I know, right? I'm so proud of my accomplishment.
I demand a recount.
Yeah. Sorry, you won't get it. So, yeah, I guess we just kind of wait. I don't know.
Congratulations on cheating.
Thanks. I worked real hard on
Victory was ripped away from my hands.
it.
I can never be Kilios, can I?
No,
Not in BN6, not even in BCC.
pop it free.
So Doc is still setting up. So if you wanna, have you already outroed and everything?
Basically, I don't have anything really to show off. I don't have a controller plugged in, so I can't play BCC. No. I
the
can't
keyboard.
press B. I don't think it's configured.
Oh. But yeah, do you have any plans to bring BCC plays BCC back?
When I can find a more stable way to host it, I do. Because it was a lot of fun, and there's still a lot of growth that I can see be done with a lot of the decks. And a lot of people really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun to watch, so.
Wouldn't it be nice to have it on the TeamBN channel from time to time?
It's 24/7, man.
24/7 BCC. Sounds good.
With the only active BN stream.
Most of the time, that would be true.